So far on this channel I've spoken about music, but I also really enjoy film, especially Marvel films, and I saw Across the Spider-Verse recently, and it was a film I was very much looking forward to seeing, especially considering a lot of Marvel films recently have not really kind of lived up. And yeah, I didn't see the first film in cinema. I saw that after it came out. But like I was very impressed with the first one, and I know many people were really excited for this one because of, you know, the hype and the excitement that came from the first film. I wouldn't say that this film was as good as the first one, which kind of tends to be the case really, especially because it's the second out of 3 films. You know, it did kind of feel like it was kind of just setting up for the third film at times. But you know, we had a lot of strong points. You know, like the film was visually very stunning. I liked how like the colours and the shades would change depending on the moods of the characters, which was especially apparent with Gwen, you know, who was kind of going through a lot in this film, in that she was like, you know, she was running from her father. You know, he found out her identity, and he didn't really understand. Yeah, I really like Gwen in this film. Miles, on the other hand, you know, he was trying to juggle being Spider-Man and also being a student. You know, his parents were kind of getting really frustrated with him, which was quite a common theme throughout the film. Kind of their relationship was very important. Sometimes I would say that kind of felt a little bit laboured. The same with sort of interaction between Miles and the other Spider-Man. Like sometimes it just was a little bit kind of frustrating, the way they were kind of saying the same thing a lot. Yeah, I don't think the plot was as kind of crystal clear as it was in the first film. It didn't flow as well. It definitely felt like it was kind of just set up for a third film, in the sense that it didn't really, kind of the ending wasn't exactly a cliffhanger really. It just felt like they were just putting pause on it. I loved the soundtrack, you know. There were times when it was bobbing my head in the film because it was just such an enjoyable experience. The music in these films is just brilliant. Yeah, it was interesting to see sort of variety of characters. The voice acting was great. And I've not spoken about this, but the bad guy in this was really interesting. It was I liked his origin story. I liked how he was related to kind of Miles and his origin story, but I kind of felt like he was a little bit petty at times, really, like kind of blaming everything on a 15-year-old. It's a little bit petty. But yeah, I suppose, you know, when you're Spider-Man, it doesn't really matter, you know. There's a level of responsibility that comes with that. As Uncle Ben would say, with great power comes great responsibility. But yeah, he was a interesting villain really, because he was kind of like asking for like assurance from Miles a lot. You know, he didn't like his humour. Yeah, very, very weird. Not exactly a villain, honestly. Sometimes he just felt kind of like he was trolling Miles, or Miles was trolling him. I'm really interested to see where he goes in the third film, and yeah, I probably would give this like an 8 out of 10. The first one was closer to a 9 or a 10 out of 10. And then there were some surprises in this film, and I'm excited to see where that goes in the third and final film in this universe. You know, as films, they're very much up there with the best Marvel has, you know, given us, really, especially considering the state of Phase 4 at the moment. Most films have not been very good. So yeah, this has been very refreshing. It's a very refreshing universe, and I really hope we see Miles in the live action film. I don't know if, I think I've heard rumours he might be kind of involved in Spider-Man 4 whenever that comes out. I know Tom Holland's taking a break from acting, so it could be a fair few years before we actually get another Spider-Man film, which is a bit frustrating because I miss Spider-Man a lot. Yeah, Across the Spider-Verse, it's a really good film. Yeah, I look forward to seeing how this series ends.